Miles, let's take a look at the polling question results and see what we find here. So most challenging. Anything jump out at you guys as a surprise there? Screening, developing, and optimizing formulations during preclinical development looks like the runaway most challenging of those four options. Any surprise there?
The formulation? No, I don't. Yeah. That's not surprising to me, at least.
All right, good.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just seeing it now. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Yeah. Optimizing the formulation. That's yeah, I mean, the reason is that it's going to be unique to each of the constructs, right? Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. All right. Okay, let's move on and talk a bit about safety and CQAs.
The one thing,
go ahead, Thomas.
Yes. Thing that I would say, because it kind of gets also at the platform, accelerating scale up to clinical development. There is a big effort. We talked a lot about platform process, but it's important also to frame that we do have multiple manufacturing processes that are ongoing, from making the DNA, which is the template, to then linearizing your DNA, to doing the IVT to make your mRNA, and then to do your formulation, your mRNA LNP. And I think historically, you may have had to go to outsource that to multiple different CDMOs, right? Somebody that had a plasmid expertise, somebody that had the IVT mRNA, someone that could do the formulation. And I think one of the things that you've been seeing over the last couple of years, and Jeff, you referred to that, there's been a lot of build out in capacity and supply of CDMOs, and they're trying to now integrate all those steps together, right? So you can more rapidly go from your DNA template to your mRNA to your formulation, bringing a lot of those in-house, and then also trying to automate those processes and close those processes so that you can much more rapidly go from plasmid into your IVT reaction into your formulation. So I think, and there's organizations like CEPI, the big nonprofit, that's really kind of energizing the field to try to be able to go from sequence to drug product in 100 days. And so I think we're going to be seeing a big transformation when we talk about platform to really mean the entire process from sequence all the way through until you get your mRNA LNP into your final drug product into a vial. And that's going to be something I think really interesting and exciting to watch over time.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're headed that way, and a lot of people have jumped into that. A lot of players jumping into that field, and it's just a matter of time before it's all there and it's ready to roll. But that will really speed things up as well, because right now it's the supply chain's kind of all over. You go one place for your plasmid, you go another place for your IVT and RNA, and you go another place for your lipids, and you go another place for your drug product. So yeah, I think as you start bringing that more and more together, it's going to be a lot better.
Yeah.
That's a nice segue for a quick question, Jeff. You're talking about sort of this bifurcated or multifurcated. I just think I made that word up. Supply chain. We had a couple questions. One from Desmond and one from Julian regarding supply chain bottlenecks. Are you still seeing, everybody was talking about supply chain issues, and I don't want to spend a ton of time here because it's a topic that's been beat to death, and I think a lot of companies have either embraced the challenge, accepted the challenge, or wrestled the challenge to the ground. But I am just curious for a quick take on whether we're still seeing the supply chain issues that sort of came to light, it became very painful during the COVID era.
I think it's loosening up. It still takes some time, but the capacity is starting to free back up, and at least from my perspective, it's getting a little bit easier. It's still not perfect, But I think as people are starting to jump in the field, that'll alleviate it even more.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I mean, a couple of years ago, it was a nightmare. We're over the bulk of that, but there's still a lot of long lead items. I think we've all kind of learned from that, and we're now familiar with, we need to be ahead of time. We need to really be thinking about our inventory, and that's one of the benefits. When Jeff and I were talking about the platform process, if it is a platform and all of the media, resins, single-use bags, et cetera, that you're going to be using for a process, you can make sure that you have your primary and secondary, backup source, and that you have some of this, in inventory for your upcoming run. So I think we've gotten smarter. It's been alleviated to some degree, but we've also gotten smarter to try to make sure that we manage better our inventory and focus our bill of materials in a sustainable way.